Hey everyone, Double Shine here, and today's news basically brought us that Project Zanaris has been canceled. Again, if you haven't heard, Project Zanaris are the kind of new community official private servers that Jagex was working on implementing, and that's basically been scrapped. Well, paused indefinitely, but I think that basically means it's canceled for the time being. Now, today's blog post doesn't have too much information, but there's a bit of things that we can kind of glimpse from it. I just kind of want to share kind of my feedback, my opinions, and sort of how I'm feeling about this because obviously this is a huge bummer for me, and I think a lot of the people who enjoyed the seasonal modes of RuneScape, so things like leagues and Deadman mode, were really excited for something like Project Xanaris, with a bunch of options for you to kind of customize your experience and to run a server that could, um, sort of have a very unique and different experience from the main game. So, kind of just going over the blog here. We understand that the feelings around the project were mixed, and many of the concerns raised were fair. The truth is, there are other areas of the core old school experience that deserve more attention right now. While Xanaris was ambitious and innovative, it wouldn't have met expectations until much later in development. Rather than stretch our focus, we want to prioritize the things that matter most to you today. Now, Project Xanaris being canceled is one thing, but personally, I'm really disappointed with this paragraph right here that kind of talks about it because, uh, uh, first off, this idea that like they're gonna shift priorities and focus on other things. It's like I thought this was supposed to be like a different team that you're investing in, anyways. So it's kind of weird to then say like, oh yeah, actually, we're just gonna shift over all our focus. It's like I thought you already made that decision that this is gonna be a different team that you hire. You're not moving people to this. You're investing in a new team. And anyways, I mean, I get it. Resources are limited. Sailing is a huge project coming up that I'm sure is taking a lot of their attention. Outside of that, the thing that I really didn't like was this idea that like while Xanaris was ambitious and innovative, it wouldn't have met expectations until much later in development. And I just cannot understand this at all. Like, I don't know where I feel like people got this idea that like the Project Xanaris like private servers are going to be this like crazy custom server thing, and that's what everybody wants. Is like it's going to be like Skyrim. We're like modding everything and new bosses and new quests and like I just. I don't know. I just didn't. I to me at least, and again, I can't speak for everybody, but for a lot of people that I saw, that just was not really what I think people were looking forward to with Project Xanaris. I think a lot of people just wanted an opportunity to have community server that is run with specific guidelines, whether that's boosted rates or certain restrictions. Because again, while you can do restrictions in the main game, there's a very very big difference to having restrictions in the main game versus having kind of like laws that are set on everybody, that everybody has to follow this thing and everybody is sort of collectively dealing with that restriction, whether that's being region locked, whether that's everybody being a hardcore. That drastically changes the game, and especially all being in one world and experiencing that together. I think I really think that like that to me was such a core experience that would have been a lot of fun. And the truth is that all the parameters that they showed at RuneFest, that already existed. Like they showed all the parameters and all the sliders and different things that you could adjust, whether that's minimum level, experience rates, drop rates. Like I don't know where we got lost in this idea that there needs to be this like crazy ambitious scale because I just I mean that stuff would have been awesome and I would have been excited for that down the line, but I feel like scrapping the project because they can't meet that is sort of like missing was it missing the trees for the forest? I don't know, something like that. Anyways, I just feel like this idea that it's not gonna be good enough on release, and that way we can't do it, it's like I just don't understand. Is that really what people wanted? They wanted to be able to, like, add custom stuff to the game rather than just having, like, a different structured server with, like, different requirements? I feel like that was a big focus as well, and then down the line, just adding that. We're committed to transparency, and we believe that focusing on core gameplay, infrastructure, and services will have the most meaningful impact. Our goal is to address your immediate concerns, build a stronger foundation, and pave the way for a better old school experience overall. Now, this stuff is all great. I agree. Maybe okay, focusing on this stuff could be good, but the problem is, and this is kind of the second point that I have here, is that none of that is actually provided. Like core gameplay and services, that those are really vague statements, and I really feel like the biggest thing I'm kind of disappointed with is like, okay, you don't think Project Xanaris is a good idea? All right, but like I would have really loved to see some more specifics about what they're actually doing and how they want to kind of add new things in. Now, it's not completely doom and gloom. There is a paragraph here talking about a new approach, basically saying that many of you have asked for ways to experience fresh gameplay's idea without impacting the main game. Rather than custom player hosted, we're exploring the prospect of delivering more community events. These would be special, time limited events similar to how DMM and leagues operate to safely explore and enjoy entirely new types of gameplay and concepts. This could even be a space where you can trial new content before it potentially makes its way into the main game. That actually sounds pretty cool. And I would love if they did that. The problem is that, this is not really anything to go off of. We still don't know when the next leagues is. It hasn't been announced yet. Deadman mode hasn't really gotten a release date. Even RuneScape 3 leagues don't even have any information on that yet. So, as of now, there is no information about any upcoming seasonal mode except that there is going to be a DMM later this year, and there's also a RuneScape 3 leagues. But, like, if you're gonna, I feel like if you're gonna scrap such a big project that a lot of people are looking forward to, it would have been nice to have some something to kind of show in place of it, or just something to get people excited about. Um, Now, if they do want to go for more, frequent seasonal modes, I'm that's awesome, and I would definitely love to see that. In fact, I was able to kind of squeeze out a little bit of information from a JMod regarding that they actually do have some kind of event coming up, and hopefully we get some more information on that because hey, who knows? Maybe this will completely change my mind, and maybe maybe there will be these new kind of cool events that are going on. Regardless, I still think that for a lot of people, the temporary aspect of leagues is I mean, I'm sure a lot of people enjoy that, but I think some people also like having some kind of, permanent world where they can, go and engage in, I guess. And I think not having any kind of like permanent leagues world, I think things like that would have been, I would have appreciated seeing something like that to take its place, or at least ideas about that. So like a permanent leagues world, I think would be cool. I really, really have wanted the idea of like a permanent hardcore world where everybody there is a hardcore. I probably would need to have boosted experience rates, and that would just be a lot of fun. I mean, like we saw how like if you watched any attention to classic WoW, hardcore classic WoW servers were incredibly popular last year. You saw a lot of the streaming community kind of uh, rallying behind that. And yeah, it just kind of sucks that this is a scrap project and they don't want to invest in it. And I think the most important thing to do is to basically making it clear if this is something that you want, if this is you know something you were interested in, is to make it known that yes, this is something that we want. We do want our own custom kind of player hosted worlds that we can run on, and hopefully they hear that, and we can kind of fight to keep the project going, because right now, yeah, I mean, it really sucks to hear. Personally, I'm really sad about this because I did really kind of expect that this would be sort of where I take my content moving forward, and I think the thing that I'm most kind of disappointed about in all of this is that we didn't even get to see like the big like alpha, or like the big playtest that was supposed to happen this month, and like it just feels like it was scrapped before they even like got a chance to see it. It's like people are getting upset and people are like doomsaying about Project Xanaris before it was even like a thing, and I just feel like that's what kind of upsets me the most, is that it's like it never even really got a chance to start. It just has been scrapped sort of before it even got going, and that kind of, I mean, I don't know, that just feels really disappointing to me, and I kind of hope that if people continue to make their, I guess, their excitement about this heard, hopefully something can kind of change down the line, or at the very least, more of the community events and the more seasonal kind of formats like leagues and dead man mode start to happen more. Because again, I think it kind of sucks having to wait like a whole year until the next leagues and not even knowing when that's going to be or having any kind of announcement on it. Personally, they now they have been asking if you have any ideas for like future community events to share that, whether that's like some kind of PvP tournament. For me personally, I've been saying that they should do like a mini leagues sometime. So maybe like Twisted League or something, and they could just run that for like 4 weeks, and they don't have to add like a ton of changes to it, but just let people kind of play the old leagues and get a chance to experience and have fun with that. Because I think for so many people, that is a really like fun and enjoyable part of old school RuneScape, and it does bring so many people playing the game. And I feel like it kind of sucks that for a lot of those people hearing this news is sort of like, okay, well, I guess I'm disconnecting from RuneScape until the next leagues, and yeah, that just kind of sucks. Anyways, sorry this video isn't like super well structured. I've kind of just been rambling about it, and it's hard for me to kind of keep all my thoughts in one cohesive manner. But yeah, pretty disappointing, and I think I'll have to probably think about kind of like what comes next, and sort of reevaluate. I guess like my ideas moving forward, because I was really really excited about this, and so it just kind of sucks to have it kind of like ripped out. So, anyways, that's it for me for today, guys. I'll probably be I mean, I don't know when the next update will be, so yeah, that's that's pretty much it.